Savant.
Oh my stars! Cole Caulfield ties it.
He's in. He scores! Oh my! Davidoff!
What's up, everybody? We are finally back after a 2-week vacation, I think. That's how long it's been. Welcome to another brand new episode of the Curfew Boys podcast. Myself, Sammy, with my cousin, Chris. Hey now. How you doing?
I'm doing great, actually. Absolutely fantastic, but I'm dying for hockey. Aren't we all?
You know what? I had just gotten back from Italy from a dear cousins of ours wedding. And as much, to me, that signaled end of summer, I'm ready for hockey now. But before we dive into that, just want to remind all of our listeners to listen to us live or anytime on YouTube. Please click like and subscribe. It shows I'm rusty. It shows I'm still on vacation mode. But if you like what you see or what you hear, please click like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. It is absolutely free. Tell your friends about us. Half season is almost here. It's July 31st. As we're recording, when this episode goes live, it's going to be August 1st, basically a month and so away from the 2025-26 NHL season. All of our episodes are available audio formats on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow the Curfew Boys on social media platforms such as Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, TikTok. We are there. Come be part of the conversation. This episode is sponsored by Habs Cave. A big shout out to Sunil, who's doing a fantastic job just representing the community, the Montreal Canadiens community out there. Him and Chris Nyland are, they're heavily involved in community with major fundraisers going out there. I know Chris was at one of them, the Chris Nyland golf charity golf tournament for the Liam Foundation, the second year now. And you know what? Because of that, we love Sunil so much. Give him a shout. Give him a follow. Habs Cave, the best man cave for Habs fans out there with any memorabilia you can think of. Follow Habs Cave on Instagram. He's just simply amazing. And last but not least, Mike's Barbecue Rub, my buddy Mike back in RDP, who creates his own barbecue spice rub for anything that you could throw on the barbecue: chicken, meat, fish, vegetables. If you can grill it, you can spice it up with Mike's Barbecue Rub. He also uses that same spice for his own kettle chips, which are absolutely amazing. Give Mike's Barbecue Rub a follow on Instagram, social media. You can also go on mikesbarbecuerub.com for more information. Last but not least, folks, don't forget to rub your meat. I haven't said that in a while.
Before you move on, though, he also, Mike's Rub just actually broke a personal record of theirs. They actually hit 5,000 chip bags sold.
Yeah, I
just
saw
recently,
that too.
just this past week.
That's awesome. Big congratulations to my buddy Mike in RDP, who I've grew up with in RDP, played hockey with for years. And, like any entrepreneur, like any businessman out there, business person, whatever, it's a grind, and he hasn't stopped. I remember when he first started, and the guy's just a hard worker. So very, very happy for him. Okay. We got a special guest with us tonight, actually. A good buddy of mine who's been on the Curfew Boys podcast before. I'm trying to remember when it was exactly. It was definitely a couple of years. I'd say maybe give or take 2 seasons ago. But he's back once again. Former writer for the famous page Habs Eyes on the Prize, but now works for, or is a writer for, Montreal Hockey Now. Please welcome my buddy David Landsman. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing very well. Please tell me I got the name of the Montreal Hockey Now. Is that correct?
You did, yeah, absolutely.
I did get it. Okay,
you
thank
did.
God.
And I can tell you when the last time we spoke was, by the way.
Go ahead, say it.
Oh boy, I'm going to say like January 2023.
I did have 2023 in mind.
I think.
Yeah.
Because it was right after the PK's return to Montreal for Price's night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was in the building and we talked about that and the atmosphere.
That to me, and it's so funny you mentioned that, because was it not on Wednesday, July 30th? 20 years ago, the Canadiens drafted Carey Price. Can you believe it? You want to know how old you feel? You just think about that draft. And I remember watching that draft. I really, really did. I watched it on TSN. Gordon Miller, there was Gordon Miller, Bob McKenzie, and Pierre Maguire. And God bless Pierre Maguire. I love him. I'm a big fan of his and his work for all these years. He at that time said it himself. He said it live. This is not a fit, and understandably so. The Canadiens had who? They had Jose Theodore. They had Yan Denis. They had
Cristobal Huet.
was Cristobal Huet the goalie as well?
And they
in
had
2005
the year prior. No,
So-
was it the same year?
No, I think it was the same year. But anyways, all that, I think Marc Denis was I think he was I don't know if he was there finishing his career.
Marc Denis only played 20.
No. Sorry. I think I had Matt. I don't know if Mathieu Caron was still part of that franchise. I remember him.
David Abisher. I mean, like, or
No, because they traded Theodore for Abisher.
Right.
So all that to say is, if Pierre Maguire could go back in time, I'm sure he would retract those words. So, but 20 years ago, Carey Price was drafted. Like, I can't believe it. And I can't believe, like, I thought of it. I remember watching his that famous World Junior tournament, that famous shootout where him and Jonathan Taves led it for Team Canada against the United States. That was insane. So, my goodness, 20 years ago already. It's nuts how time goes by fast. And that PK Subban, Carey Price, triple low three, like that broke my heart because that era is over. It's finished. That's what it said to me.
Yeah,
I remember that. I had tears in my eyes. My girlfriend was judging me for it. I was like, if only you understood it's not the triple low three, it's triple low five. Not to correct you, but that was.
What did I say? The triple 03?
You said the triple 03.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, it's okay. Whatever.
Some digits.
The low 5-3 times. That's all I was thinking. Yeah, okay. Like I told you, I just got back from vacation. I'm extremely rusty. I don't know what the heck I'm saying or doing right now. I'm still in Italy time zone. So, and I still wish I was
to get
there.
You back on track. Don't worry about it.
Apparently, so please, like just guide me back in. Like, just whatever you got to do, just please do so. Yeah, man. This is I think it's safe to say Habs fans everywhere are beyond excited for this season to start. And I don't know if it has to do with just seeing clips of Ivan Demidov skating with Patrick Laine in Brossard. A couple of other players too are training there. They're practicing together. But recently the main, not the main headlines, but the main videos that you're seeing on Twitter or X is that Patrick Laine and Ivan Demidov, they're just feeding each other and practicing one-timers like for God knows how long. So I think this is really, really, really getting fans excited. The LSHL League saw Nick Suzuki, Ivan Demidov, and Patrick Laine playing together and just making it look too easy. So I don't know, guys. Just before we get on the main subjects of this episode, like I'm ready for hockey. I really am.
As soon as the season ends, you're already ready for the next year, and that's always the case. So I'm more than stoked, more than excited. Like you guys were both alluding to it. It can't come soon enough, right? It doesn't feel like it's there.
Yeah, that's so true. But go Chris, go.
Well, I have to ask you guys, when was the last time you saw the nucleus of players, such a big nucleus of players, back on the ice here in Montreal in the middle of the summer? That, I think, like, obviously you're alluding to the Suzuki, Demidov, and Laine playing together, but like you have the Jack-Eye brothers who are there. You had Jake Evans, who's also been partaking. You have Slavkovsky as well on the ice. These guys are at it. These guys are hungry. Like, even in years prior, other than Nick Suzuki staying in Montreal for the summer period, I think this is the highest number of Montreal Canadiens players who've been practicing together this early in the, I guess, summer, if you will, like this early before the season starts.
Mid-July, yeah, absolutely. And not to say that they're the only team that's doing it, but and some people might say, oh, but they just got together for Nick Suzuki's wedding. So I mean, it could be, but you really get that feeling that they're ahead of schedule and they're built. That this was all part of the plan. It's literally putting a winning culture mentality together at such a young age, and that's what they're showing. These kids, they want to pick up from where they left off in the playoffs, and they can't wait to get started. That's my the perception of it. That's how I'm seeing it. They don't want to make the playoffs at game 82. They want to make the playoffs, like they want to clinch that spot like before March comes around or something like that.
Well, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, think about it. This team is now healthy. All of them are healthy.
Oh yeah.
Knock on wood. You know? But like all of them are healthy. Last year, Laine started the season on the IR. Davidoff was not even like in our range. We didn't even think he was going to join the team until a year or two from now.
Yeah.
And then like slowly the pieces started aligning when everyone got healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And even so, like then Davidoff comes into the lineup with the last two games and lights it up on this first night.
Insane.
Like they are so hungry because they know that they can put this team together and build something huge. And right now, it's go time. And like you were saying before, they are the youngest team in the NHL.
Yep,
are the youngest team.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Yeah, guys. I think this is a perfect way to start off the main conversation of this episode because we're talking about how they built this team together. But this is all coming down the masterminds of Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon. So the main things I want to talk about. We're still, like I said, we're end of July. I don't anticipate the Canadiens to make any big moves from now till preseason starts. However, I wanted to go back and look at all the moves that Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon have made since Florida lifted that Stanley Cup again, from there up into this very, very point, because I think all of those things that they've done is leading up to this excitement. It's leading up to all of us wanting that season to get started because we just can't wait to see what product is coming to this team, this franchise, whether it's the Montreal Canadiens, whether it's the Laval Rockets. Like year after year after year throughout this rebuild, it just keeps getting a lot more exciting and a lot more fun to follow. So what I want to do is go through almost all of the moves that they've made, and I want to hear what you guys grade those moves. And even to our audience, if you're listening, I want you guys to partake in the conversation as well. So I'm trying to think what to start off with, and I'm trying to wonder if I should start off with some of the little signings that Jeff Gordon did, whether they're NHL contracts or whether they're minor league contracts. I still think some of them are extremely important for how can I say this? It helps these certain players help that culture, bring in that winning mentality, whether they're veterans or a bit on the younger side, but they're part of the development of these future key players. So just put a pin on that. But I think, you know what? I think I'm going to say screw it. I think I'm going to start with the biggest move of them all. I'm going to go with the trade for the 2 first-round picks and Emil Heineman for Noah Dobson. And I'm going to even throw in the contract that they offered to Noah Dobson. I'm curious to hear what you guys grade that move.
Chris, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Dave, you're up first. You got look. You're our guest. We have to toss it to you first.
Honestly, getting a right-handed shot as a defenseman is very few and far between. You always hear at trade deadlines that some team is going after a right-handed D, and we did that. But not only that, we got an all-star right-handed D. Yes, we lost Savard. It was a right-handed D, but He was 34. He was losing his touch. He was more like the leader behind the scenes towards the end.
Yeah.
Dobson is 25. Like he's got the prime of his careers right now. He's already got a few seasons under his belt. He shows he's healthy. He shows he has the caliber to bring it to Montreal to be amazing. And like I think bringing that move for 2 first-round picks, yes, okay, we lost 2 first-round picks, but I think it's going to pay off in the long run. And Heineman, although he had a good year as a rookie, if you think about it, we're getting a surplus of forwards right now.
Yeah.
So to lose one is actually better off because then it actually reduces the depth. They only have to go 13 forwards, cut their roster nice and tight. And Dobson is going to be like, I think right away I can already see Dobson like teeing up point shots, goals, power play. He can play everything though. That's the cool thing about him too. He can play the power kill, he can play the power play, he can play the big minutes. He's going to play probably close to 25 to 30 minutes a night if I had to guess. So
I'm safely assuming he is going to hit the 25-minute mark on a nightly basis.
Yeah. And I'm stoked to see it. I cannot wait.
Chris?
Look, I'm gonna grade it an A minus. The reason why I'm saying that,
okay.
I think I'm just leaning on the contract. I don't, for some odd reason, I know we've spoken about it a million times over. There's no way to circumvent the fact that the cap is going up and that they had to pay more, and that Noah Dobson could have easily gotten an extra million, 1.5, even 2 million elsewhere. For some odd reason, it's just I think. I don't know. I'm holding back. I don't want it to sound like a Homer kind of take on my side. I just, again, the contract is fair. I think it would have been a lot more elsewhere. But the big thing, the reason why I still think it's an A move on Ken and Jeff's part is that you're taking a huge ton of pressure off of Lane Hudson, if you can imagine that, and you have something that's equally dynamic as a right-handed shot. If those two are split up, you figure two-thirds of the pairings are going to be very, very hard to compete with offensively. So in that case, I don't know. I just think this makes us so much more dynamic. I think it also fits with the game, the offensive game and style, with that creativity that Marty wants to bring. And I think the last thing too, again, I don't want to counter Dave over here. I would say that it also, based off of who else we have on this team, I also think that Dobson doesn't have that responsibility to play on the PK and maybe more of the. I'm not saying that he doesn't have to play the defensive side. Of course he does, but you might not have to throw him into all the situations that the Islanders did because they didn't have that defensive depth. So in a certain sense, you protect a guy like Matheson from having to play offensively and power play minutes and have him attempting to quarterback the power play, while at the same time you're not asking Dobson to step into maybe a tougher defensive role, be blocking as many shots and taking that physical punishment. So all in all, I just think this is such a dynamic and fantastic move for the Canadiens, and I'm keeping that reservation to say time will tell whether or not Dobson is worth that money. I think he is, hands down, but I'm taking the cowardly route and protecting myself by just adding that minus next to the grading.
I added a plus. I'm adding an A plus to that, and it's pretty much a combination of what the two of you have said. But I also believe that I like what, like I said, I like what both you said, but I like, Chris, that you said that it takes pressure off of Lane Hudson. You mentioned Mike Matheson. It definitely takes pressure off Mike Matheson now. That's I think the number one priority now on defense, as far as defense is concerned, in terms of controlling minutes and finding their new role. I truly, truly believe Marty is going to do the exact same thing to Mike Matheson the way he did it to Josh Anderson. He gave Josh Anderson a new role. Josh Anderson embraced it, and he actually thrived. I really think he's going to try. I think he's going to do that to Mike Matheson, be like, you don't have to be that top guy on defense anymore. still bring it every night. He's still going to get over 20 minutes a game. I'm sure of it, and that's still a good thing. He's still going to play top 4 minutes, but he probably won't need that pressure to quarterback a power play because, let's be honest, I love Mike Matheson, but he's not the best power play quarterback out there. Bringing in a Noah Dobson, like Dave, like you said, that right-handed shooting defenseman at the age of 25 is rare, is extremely rare to have, let alone trade for at the draft. They just bolstered now both power plays. I truly think we could talk about this too, but I truly think you have Lane Hudson quarterback the first one, and you have Noah Dobson quarterback in the second one. I think a lot of people are anticipating to have both of those defensemen play on the same power play unit. I don't think so because I really think we have a lot of firepower up front that Marty can use 8 forwards and 2 defensemen to go on the power play as his special teams. And just the way Lane Hudson, just the season he had, and that he adds a whole other level of excitement after his Calder Trophy winning season. You know, that to me is it's just they checked off so many. They crossed their I's and dot their T's, and so many check marks on a guy that could play over 20, almost 25 minutes, maybe even more. A guy that could play the power play. I don't know if he's going to play penalty kill, but the fact that he could, in case, let's say a Caden Gooley gets a penalty or a Mike Matheson gets a penalty, you put Noah Dobson on, you're still in a good spot.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm giving him an A. That's why I'm giving it an A+.
Well, then I'm going to go for right down the middle. I'll say an A, just to be in the. All you guys said was so true, and it's like the one gamble that Chris was saying about the contract.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can get someone to an 8-year contract in Montreal is almost unheard unless their name is Suzuki or Caulfield. And because a lot of people do not want to come to Montreal. We know this from bygones. Nobody wants to sign a big contract with Montreal because they're scared about the scrutiny of the media or all that jazz, which I'm not going to get into. But
yeah,
signing an 8-year deal is risky, especially like Chris was saying at 25.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is in the prime of his career. He's played some great seasons before him. Hopefully it continues on this year with Montreal.
Okay, so we got 1A, we got 1A minus, and we got 1A+. So what does that even out to? Anyways, I don't think it.
It's an A average.
It's an A average.
It's an A average.
Yeah. And I think that contract too, the fact that they were able to get him at a bit of a discount compared to what he was asking from the Islanders, that is huge. But Dave, you don't think the narrative is changing a little bit though for players wanting to come to Montreal? Slowly. Yeah, okay.
It's not like they're not jumping saying they want to come to Montreal because they know it's a winning team. Mm-hmm. Now there's talk of that because of how much their team has gotten better.
Yes.
Especially the second half of last season, just pedal to the metal, they went hard. But when you brought in Laine, when they traded, when I heard that they got Laine, I was super stoked because I've always liked watching Laine play.
Same here
at Columbus.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking I'm like, oh shit, pardon my French. What are they going to give in return? What are they going to give up? And it was Jordan Harris and a second round pick. I was like, wow.
But that's the other thing, and it's still to this day I do not understand how so many people thought if you want Noah Dobson, you're gonna have to give up either the 2 first round picks like they did, or you're gonna have to give one and give away either a David Reinbacher or a Michael Hage.
Yeah,
and Logan Mailloux for that matter.
Or Owen Beck. There was a lot of speculations of a big name going the other way.
Yeah,
and then it was Heineman. I was like, okay.
I'm honestly,
I love Heineman, but
I did too. But it's you look back at the depth chart for prospects that we have that could play that fourth line role, that are big, that could hit. I have Florian Jacki in mind. I have Tyler Thorpe, who's going to make his pro debut. Who's going to start his pro career in this upcoming season. I have even Luke Tuck, maybe. There's some other veterans out there. That type of profile we could find. Yes, Heineman had a great shot. He really, really did. But I had no problem with letting him go.
Yep.
No problem letting him go. So,
same.
Okay, so the average A.
That we agree on. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
Chris, you mentioned Logan Mailloux. That we gotta talk about that. We gotta grade that trade. Not talk about. We talk about it. Well, we can still talk about it. We can do whatever we want on this podcast. Logan Mailloux for Zachary Bolduc. A 1-for-1 trade.
Go ahead.
Well, no. With that was, as a recap, I think we all saw that coming once Noah Dobson was in the picture. Same profile type of defenseman ish. When I say same profile, big right-handed shooter, defenseman that's mostly offensive. I think a lot of Habs fans were hoping that Logan Mailloux would become that kind of defenseman that Noah Dobson is right now, almost, give or take, more or less. But once you knew, like even Logan Mailloux admitted it, like he did a couple of podcasts with Tony Marinaro and other people, did a couple of interviews, and he knew it was coming. He said it. He's like, as soon as saw that Noah Dobson was coming, like I think he knew it was like, okay, well, my days now are a lot more numbered than I thought. So, Chris, what do you grade this trade?
I'm giving this trade an A, and it's to exactly what you were saying. Had the trade for Noah Dobson not gone through, I would have been throwing my phone out the window or whatever I got the news on, because again, Logan Mailloux only became expendable with his arrival, with Noah Dobson's arrival. The first few minutes, I'm not going to lie, emotions kicked in. I had high hopes for Mailloux, the typical Montreal reaction, but upon further analysis, and as we've discussed in previous episodes, just to see what Bolduc did from the return of the Four Nations, what he did after Jim Montgomery came in as coach. So you see the kids properly surrounded, properly coached, comes back, gets onto a hot streak. What could he put up? Like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We might have stolen literally a very young 25 plus goal scorer in this league. And with that said, like he has a little bit of grit in his game. Seems to have he's a half decent skater as well. His shot, his release, I've said it before too, reminds me of a young Mike Hoffman. Not to go down that memory lane, but Mike Hoffman had a wicked release. He had a very quick little snap, and you watch a lot of the goals that Bolduc put up. Like I think, and I want to actually add a little tidbit. Crazy enough, when we went to the Chris Nyland's second annual golf tournament for the Liam Foundation, I swear on my life, and we have pictures to prove it, we're eating there, and it's Anthony and I, so one of the other Curfew boys, Dave. Anthony and I are eating at a table alone, and next thing you know, Michael Farber walks in, and we're like tucked away in the back, away from everywhere else. Michael Farber sits down, salt of the earth guy, such a nice, kind soul. He brings a glass of water. I ask him, hey, where'd you get the water? He's like, let me get you some. I felt so guilty. I literally got up and chased him around. Anyways, all this to say is we're sitting, Michael Farber's with us. It's Anthony and I. There are tables, dozens and dozens of tables scattered throughout the room. I see a guy walking up. Lo and behold, it's Jeff Molson. Jeff Molson turns and he says, hi, can I sit here? I'll spare you the details. I just want to get straight to the point. Now, at this point, Jeff Molson talking, and we naturally got onto the topic of hockey. I mean, why not? The one thing that he said, he goes, I think we got something really good in Zach Bolduc. I think we got. He didn't mention Dobson. He didn't mention any of the draft picks. He didn't mention anything when talking about what he was looking forward to and what he was excited about. He openly said, "Really excited. I think we got something really special in Zach Bolduc." So I'll leave it at that. A grade for me.
Hey, okay. Hey, interesting. Go, Dave.
Oh boy! All right. Well, that's tough to beat the anecdote from Chris. But I got to say, I've met Molson too. He's a super humble, down to the earth, like super cool guy. So kudos to that. But no, I'd give it an A minus because also, like, you know, I know we're gonna try and be different, but
except me.
No, I mean, once we saw that Dobson came into Montreal, like Chris was saying, we knew, and you were even saying, we knew a right-handed defenseman was going. To
Yeah.
be honest, I was nervous it was going to be Reinbacher.
Hmm.
Reinbacher had a
Okay.
bigger, higher ceiling. So when it was Mailloux, I was kind of relieved, if that sounds bad enough, because
Yeah.
Mailloux's play, his past, let's not go into that, but like I thought that he had a great potential, and that's why he was moved. And he knew that he was going to be moved. But then, like, getting a kid, like Chris was saying, a kid that has such a possible, like, energy that Bolduc can bring. You know, the kids put up 19 goals last year on a third
Yeah.
and fourth line. You know, like, I mean, this is a guy who he's fast. He's speedy down the wing, which is something we haven't had. We've had better, like with Caulfield and everything, but it's something that's really going to be nice to have a speedy youngster come down the wing on the other side too. So
Yep.
I think he's got potential, and also he is a great asset that will be possibly prove beneficial to us. A future 25 goal scorer, like you said. The only I have one really downside that I don't like about the trade. You ready for it?
We're waiting. All of us are waiting now.
What number are you gonna wear?
What number? Oh, what number?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he not?
Yeah.
Wait, what number is he wearing?
76.
Oh yes. I was like 70. I have 74. Is he 74? No, he's 76.
DK remains very close to my heart, so that one stung a bit. That's my one my one thing, which has nothing to do with his gameplay.
That's understandable. I remember when Brendan Gallagher switched to 11. That stung me a little bit too.
Yeah,
because I was a massive Koivu fan. That's why.
We had Gomez word in between both of them, so I mean, it was kind of refreshing. Exactly.
I remember that. I remember that a little bit, but for some reason, I only have Gomez. I remember Gomez as 91, but it's true he did wear it a little bit. Yeah. But no. And then when Galchenyuk and Romanov wore 27, I was a big Kovalev fan. So yeah, I get it. I get it. I think I'm gonna. I want to be different from you guys, but for me, I'm giving it another A+ again because you just added so much potential. You added potential, but now we're adding a lot more depth. We have a lot more depth than we thought. Now we solidified not just our top 6, but we solidified our top 9 at least now for the Montreal Canadiens. I see Zachary Bolduc starting on the third line for now, but I could definitely see him being a type of player that could go up to the second line in case of injury, or maybe, let's say, I don't know. Personally, I'm expecting the second line to be Doc, Demidov, Laine. Let's say it doesn't work out between either Demidov or Laine. I'm just throwing names out there. Or let's say it doesn't work between the first line. They want to put Demidov there. Maybe they switch Bolduc. All I know is that I think Zachary Bolduc has the potential of being, I don't know if I want to say he's a top 6 in his career. Maybe he could be, but if he's putting up goals, if he's putting up like 13, 14, 15 goals playing on the third line, and he's going to put some on the power play, which is the reason why I'm giving it a plus, because now I mentioned Noah Dobson before, that you just bolstered that second power play unit. You put in a Zachary Bolduc in the bumper spot where he was at the second half of the season for the St. Louis Blues, and that's how he got a lot of his goals. You put him there. Now we're talking here. Now I don't want to have high hopes or high expectations for special teams with this team. We had it with Patrick Laine, and for the most part, he fulfilled that. But we didn't have a second power play unit. Now we do. And I think I think those forwards, you could see it going from, if I'm expecting Caulfield, Laine, Suzuki, and Demidov to be on that first power play. Now you can have Doc, you can have Slav, you can have Newhook, and you can have Bolduc. Like, there's no Armia, there's no Dvorak, there's no Heineman on a power play anymore. Like, do you know how significantly better we just got on the second power play? And that could be the difference between making the playoffs at game 82 or making the playoffs at the beginning of March or whatever. Not that they're going to clinch by then, but like, you're in a very, very comfortable position. That could happen. I'm just saying. that to me is where he gets the plus. It's because they really beefed up your middle six, I guess, or your, like I said, your top nine, and that power play. That to me is, and the fact that so many St. Louis Blues fans were pissed that Zachary, not that they were pissed that they're getting Logan Mailloux. I think they were just pissed that Zachary Bolduc is out of St. Louis. I just personally, the fact that's, I have nothing against St. Louis, the St. Louis Blues organization or the fan base, but when you keep seeing and hearing that like St. Louis Blues fans are pissed that he's gone, in the words of Jeff Molson, they got something good here. They really, really do. So that's why I'm giving it an A+. So you mentioned he's fast, he's speedy, he's big. He's like a much younger left-handed Josh Anderson.
Essentially, yes.
So can you not see those two playing together on the same line?
I could, absolutely. Him on the left, Anderson on the right, and put center. I don't even know at this point. Like, they've switched words.
I would try Newhook, because Newhook is fast. If you get three fast skaters, you got two guys that fight for the puck in the corners.
Yeah,
doesn't seem like a bad line to me.
Could be interesting. Well, like you said before, like you were just saying that he's very adaptable. He can be on the second line, third line, fourth line, first line. He can do that, which is something that is very few and far between in players. A lot of players, if they're not on their first line and they're not on the second line, they're pissed to get demoted to the third line. I'm sure that would be something he would embrace just to get the chance to play and play it for his hometown team. I know that's another stretch, but yeah, it's going to be fun to see him play. I think it's going to be fun.
I can't wait. Oh, my God. I can't wait. Okay. I know we talked about the two big major moves here. I kind of want to see what you guys think and how you grade the Montreal Canadiens at the draft itself and who they selected, so on and so forth. We don't have to go down the list of players that they drafted, but given the fact that they traded their 2 first-round picks and they still picked some of the prospects that they did, I'm curious to know what you guys grade the Montreal Canadiens at the draft despite doing that big move. Whoever wants to start.
Chris.
We'll go Chris.
Because I don't remember who they drafted. I'm so like...
That's okay. It's okay.
I wasn't even in Italy, and I don't remember. So
Zarovsky, I think, is a steal. I think LJ Mooney, another steal.
Oh my God, this
you have,
kid, man, he's insane.
The Greek pop.
He's not Greek.
Well, the Greek name. Let's.
He's got a Greek name, but he's got a native background.
Okay. My sincere apologies, but I think it's Hayden Papanikis.
Papanikis.
Okay, I finally got it. I finally did the homework in studying his name. All this to say is, I really think, like I've said it before, I feel that the Montreal Canadiens are in such a different place versus so many of the other management staffs that came before, or management groups that came before, in that the Canadiens have they've drafted players with maybe some holes in their game, or some I don't want to say issues, but that are maybe not super, super well-rounded, but that brings something so special to the table individually. Like LJ, TJ Mooney?
Yep. LJ Mooney. Yeah.
LJ, sorry. All that to say is, like, you saw him at the development camp, like, just how fierce he plays. Like, it looks like a very young Brendan Gallagher in terms of, and maybe even quicker as to how he goes for that puck. He's just like a hungry dog on raw meat, kind of chasing after it. Again, Zarovsky, I think, again, you got a guy in the early second round that could have been a first rounder based off of the skill. I don't know if you guys have seen some of his highlights, but absolutely, highlights are highlights, but just, he does in fact have absolutely fantastic hands, no matter what. Apparently was touted to be one of the top tier talents of the draft. So again, it just feels as though the Canadiens have been like looking past maybe some holes in some of the players' games and swinging for the fences for maybe role players. And it rings so true with what you said about Josh Anderson. Like everybody's gonna start falling into playing a certain role and not being expected to play in spots where they're uncomfortable playing, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense with you. So all this to say is, look, time will tell. Draft is a very, very big gamble. Look, I'm just gonna say a very fair B plus. I know people are gonna be pissed off at me
Yeah.
for saying that, but I think, like, I don't care who you are. Unfortunately, with injuries, with development, and players, we don't know until they pan out. So I'm just gonna say a
Yeah.
solid B plus. I think they have something very good on paper and some very good players that can pan out to be something special. But I mean, I'm the same guy who was excited about Nikita Sherbak, so I'm gonna dial it down over
Hey,
here.
he had skill, the guy, though. He really did. It's just there was just
Something to
sometimes
miss.
something upstairs just didn't work, or just whether it was bad habits or whatnot. But yeah, Dave, if you want to chime in on this one real quick.
I mean, I'm not as well versed as remembering the draft, so
Mhm.
Chris just like I'm going to say what Chris said. Yeah, I totally agree with everything. No, I mean, I did see some of the highlights from some of the players, especially LJ Mooney. Like he
Yeah,
does have
Kansas
that
is insane.
grit, like Chris was saying, but he also has that tenacity that he wants it so bad. I also saw
Mhm.
the highlight when he pulled the Kucherov like
Twice.
fan on the shootout, and I was just like, oh, I just like I want to see him do that in an NHL game, and I was just
Oh
like,
my god.
wish.
He's a mixture of like I like the comparison of Gallagher that he wants it, but he's got like that Caulfield want that you just said, Dave. Like, but he wants it. Like Caulfield loves being in the moment too. Like, but like he's got that Caulfield personality a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And I get that he's undersized at 5'7", but he's still a kid. He might grow 5'8", 5'9", or something. But to me, the fact that they were still able to land Zarovsky when they had him at number 16 or 17, and they're still able to get him at number 34, to me is a big win. You mentioned Chris Hayden and Papanikis, but even Bryce Pickford on defense, who had such a leap in his junior season. He's probably going to play one more because at 18, 9, like pretty soon 19-year-olds are going to be able to go to the minors when the new collective bargaining agreement kicks in 20 in the 2026-2027 season. So to me, absolutely a B plus. I wanted to give maybe an A minus or B plus. I'm stuck between because I'm never gonna disagree with the trade they made for Dobson, but there's still always that little part of you that wants to see a first round pick come in as well, just to but that's just me. It's mostly to see these guys. To me, it seems they could be perfect replacements down the line in case, like Chris said, an injury, making a trade, maybe somebody's getting a little too old. Not that they're getting older, but like their bodies are wearing out. Let's say like a Brendan Gallagher, for example. I'm just throwing a name out there, or Josh Anderson, or let's say even a Jake Evans can't play fourth line center anymore because he just maybe can't keep up anymore, or too many injuries catching up to him, something like that. But I feel like most of the guys they picked in this draft, at least the top 5, can fill in those roles in case that's in the future. So I'll be like Chris. I'll give it a B plus. I'll give it a B plus. So we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah.
Last but not least, the Canadiens still did a couple of signings. You know, hey, while I was in Italy, Joseph Veleno got signed a couple of days ago. I think Jayden Struble avoided arbitration. The Canadiens signed him to a two-year deal. You know, the signing of Jakub Dobes, bringing back guys, even though they're going back to the minors, bringing back William Trudeau, bringing back Sean Farrell, bringing back Alex Belzil. Actually, for me, is a big one. Signing Sammy Blais might be a bit underrated, an underrated signing, and even the goalie of Capo Kakkonen. I get the feeling, guys, that let's say even they don't make the NHL, they don't make the Canadiens, but they go to Laval. I think they just bolstered this Laval team a lot more now, and majority of that young nucleus that was part of it last year, they're gonna get even better now because maybe they bring in a Sammy Blais that won the Calder Cup. Maybe they bring in a Capo Kakkonen who beat them playing with the Florida's farm team. You're bringing back Alex Belzil, local boy who's a veteran, well respected. And you're bringing back a William Trudeau, still young, but him too now, coming in with a lot of pro experience. So to me, the signings of Jakub Dobes and Jayden Struble are perfect. Joe Veleno, absolutely zero risk at all. I'm giving all these signings. I'm rating these signings like a good. I'm going to go with an A- just because Kent Hughes couldn't get that second line center that we all want at the snap of a Thanos finger. But yeah, to me that Jayden Struble signing, guys, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Justin Barron signing, even a bit the Arbor Jackeye signing. It's like we'll give you 2 years again to prove yourself, but you might be expandable. I don't know. That's just the feeling I have with Jayden Struble. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, I think Struble and Jackeye are going to be alternating on off nights. It seems,
yeah,
because like they were both the odd man out on the defense core.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the you got your Dobson, you got Hudson, you got Matheson, Gooley, and then those two, I feel like are going to be interchangeable. They both bring a physical presence.
Mm-hmm.
They both bring penalty killing skills. They both can take the body, then be on the third pairing on the defense core. So I think, honestly, between the two of them, it's going to be like an even split. I mean, obviously, I can't foresee what's going to happen, but that's what I see happening between those two. Though I do like Struble because he's young. He's young. He's also got a bit more offensive flair, whereas Jacque's more of a reserved, more of the body, like the bodyguard to the team.
Yeah.
Which is good to have. Like we had that with Bezzetta sort of on the fourth line last year. But even him, he was inserted the lineup, taken out of the lineup.
Did you see
in for one game, taken out for 10.
Did you see what Arbor said to in front of at that big interview they were having for New Hook's charity or something? Did you see what
against each other?
Well, he goes, "I might have a new enemy," and he kind of like looked at Pizzetta. And the funny thing is, remember they kind of got into a small, tiny tilt at one of the practices during the playoffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jackeye and Pizzetta go at it at the season opener of Montreal versus Toronto.
I don't think so. I'm gonna say it outright.
Yeah, probably
and
not.
1 second, let me put things into perspective over here. But all this to say is that no, Pizzetta's not in the same weight class. That poor guy is gonna get absolutely manhandled if that's the case.
But he's not scared though. Pizzetta's not scared.
He's got the heart of a lion. I'll give him that absolutely. But no, Pizzetta's. Remember when Pizzetta fought Ryan Reeves?
Yeah, he got destroyed.
God. Oh God!
Did he not fight Mathieu Olivier also when he got destroyed? I'm trying to remember, but I do remember. Even Reeves looked at him. He's like, "Really? Okay, yeah." But then Jackeye wanted to fight Reeves, and Jackeye said no. So I just remember that too.
all this to say is that I think the signings are good. I think like Joe Veleno is a super low risk, great little signing that's going to fly under the radar, but be very, very good for some face-off draws and have.
He's only 25. I thought he was older.
You know what? He was he was highly touted.
He was picked where?
30th overall, first round.
Okay. Yeah.
His draft picks were traded in the trade that got Tatar to Vegas.
Yes. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Here, I'll look it up while I'm here.
While you look that up, like I think Joe Veleno is going to be a good signing. I think Sammy Blais is actually going to take off some of the physical pressure of either a Struble or especially a Jackeye too. He's a lot more physical than most would actually think. I don't think like I look at the minors and I think this is the year to make sure that number one, Jacob Fowler develops properly. I think they
Mm-hmm.
gave him hopefully Kakinen is coming in with the understanding that he is a backup who's
Mhm.
there to mentor Jacob Fowler. If not, if he's coming in to play starting minutes, I have a problem with that. I
Can you?
really, really, really do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can care. Like honestly, this is yes, we want them to win, but it's also Owen Beck, Jacob Fowler, David Reinbacher. If he's in the minors, who else? Maybe Florian Jacki if he's still there. I don't know. Joshua Ottawa, borderline given up on him. I don't
You
want
know
to, but if
what?
he's
The arrival of Zachary Bolduc just threatened Joshua Ottawa's spot in the future on this team.
I don't think it's threatened. I think it just eliminated Joshua Ottawa's
He's on the
future.
final year, and the kid knows it. The kid knows it. This is his last chance. But I truly believe Zach Bolduc coming into this team. It's just think of it like Noah Dobson, what Noah Dobson did to Logan Mailloux, except it just Joshua Roy isn't out just yet.
It lit a match under his butt. You know, like just to say
Mm-hmm.
you got to prove yourself one way or another, and if you can't cut it, well, we got this kid Budzik. He'll take over. You can go on your merry way.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
1 year left. Yeah, I don't know where we're gonna see Valeno. I'm trying to think here.
4C, 4C.
Yeah, but you don't think Jake Evans gets the 4C?
Yeah, I would put Evans over it, but yeah,
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, well,
maybe the
if
third board then.
so then where are we putting New Hook on this then?
I was just about to say New Hook is one of the guys that's going to have to play one of the most dynamic roles because I think he's going to get bounced around the lineup, one of the most out of all players.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because for me, I personally see a third line of New Hook with Bolduc and Anderson, and then I could see a fourth line of Evans with Gallagher, maybe Valeno, maybe a Sammy Blais. Sammy Blais is gonna have to fight for that spot though, because like even him too, he's been going up and down from the minors and the NHL, but. You know, you want to. He's a big guy. I mean, he's 29 years old. I mean, compared to us, he's a kid, but I mean, he's getting. Yeah. So I don't know. That fourth line is going to be interesting actually. Oh, maybe it could work out if you have Valeno and Evans switching on faceoffs, but you put Valeno on the wing, it might work actually. And then
can we agree though on one thing? The bottom six is a lot stronger in my opinion. Maybe the penalty kill might be weaker because goddamn Yoel Armia did a heck of a job.
Yeah.
But I still think the bottom 6 5-on-5 is much stronger. That's my opinion.
I'd agree.
I do as well, but I truly think, and I love Armia for who he really was and not what we wanted him to be. And we unfortunately saw the Christian Dvorak towards the end of the season that we all wanted when he first fucking got here. Excuse my language. But, like, that's the Christian Dvorak that was supposed to be here. A guy that wins faceoffs, but, like, the guy that still had a bit of, like, that offensive flair in him, that was still able to play that way. I don't know if Jake Evans can do that. To me it's those face-offs. It's those face-offs that are important. Like in the defensive zone, is a guy like Alex Newhook responsible enough to take those face-offs? Or is it maybe a Joe Valeno? Is Joe Valeno's face-off percentage that good? I have to double check. You know, are you going to rely a lot on Nick Suzuki or Jake Evans to take those face-offs?
Those are two right-handed guys. They were even talking about having Zach Bolduc working on his face-offs if he can go in and support.
Yeah,
because then again, if Kirby Doc is you have Kirby Doc, Jake Evans, and Nick Suzuki, who are all scheduled to be centermen.
Yeah,
all right-handed.
They're all right-handed. Jake, that's when Owen Beck comes, he's another right-handed one too. So that's gonna be And it's once again, it just comes down to that whole debate of is it the second line center they go for, like all that. I don't know, but to me, I still think these sightings. Yeah, Chris, I agree. I think they solidify your bottom six, and they still give guys in the minors a chance to compete and go far, and pick up from where they left off in their playoff run as well. And you give Jacob Fowler the reins. To me, it's like, does this Capo Kakinen, does he give Jakub Dobeš a run for his money for the backup? That to me is a big question mark. As soon as
I'll
Capo
be honest,
Kakinen
I don't want that. I really don't want that. I think
don't want that either.
like I've said it a million times before, I'd like Dobeš to be here in Montreal, and like a 55-45 split between him and Monty. That's my if it's a 60-40, so be it. That 60% Monty plays and 40% Dobeš plays, no problem. But I'd like Dobeš to get more starts in. I really, really, really think if Dobeš goes down to the minors, I think there's a much, much, much more difficult conversation that comes about, in that Dobeš is going to want to continue to develop. He's going to be wanting to start. Like, that's what the path has to be absolutely crystal clear and cleared for Jacob Fowler. Like, there's no ifs or buts. It's a major failure on the organization's part if Jacob Fowler doesn't take the reins and run with it the whole season. And I'm sorry to say, if we want to develop Dobeš, I think you're going to have to do it at the NHL level. As stupid as that sounds, I think
it's
that's
not stupid.
The way it has to be.
No.
It makes perfect sense. Look what Jakub Dobeš did before he became an NHL backup to Montreal. He played 52 games out of 72. They need to do the exact same thing to Jacob Fowler.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And I think Capo Kakinen's a good backup for Fowler, a veteran goaltender that can help teach Fowler how to be a pro. And how to he beat him. Kakinen beat both Primo and Fowler in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Speaking of Primo, what are we grading that trade?
Call it. I'm not even going to give a grade. Look, he got something for him. That's more than I expected. I'm sorry to say, I thought he was walking away for nothing, and we got a 7th round pick, which is what we drafted him, where we drafted him. So that even
at a nice B right there for beautiful.
P for Primo. No, it was
C for can't complain.
Yeah, double C.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That when Primo was moved, I was like, thank God. However, there was a talk before the Dobson deal went down. I don't know if this was a rumor from like the fake news sites that I was reading or the real sites I was reading, but going after the 2C, and there was one that was sticking out to me as if they could pull the trigger on this and make it work. It was going to be Nugent Hopkins coming to Montreal in exchange for like Primo, a Beck, a Reinbacher, and like a couple picks. And I was like, oh, that would be nice.
Oh, I would have loved it. You know what? Things are still not going well between Mason McTavish and the Anaheim Ducks. So
exactly. So
I still have hope.
There is hope. There's 70 days until the season starts. 70 days.
Oh my God. I don't think it's going to happen, but my goodness, that would be the perfect matchup. That would be the perfect. You have Suzuki as your first, McTavish. I keep saying this over and over again in our episodes, but when in Montreal, right? So, guys, to end this off, the entire overall, we talked about the trades, the picks, the signings. We gave those grades, but the overall report card, what are you grading Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon on the overall of everything they've done? Put everything all together.
The math is not going to add up. So let me give you my weighted distribution.
That's fine. We're not here to calculate.
No, because where does the team stand today? And I think that they did such a marvelous job making the team better and ready to compete. I know, like, not ready to compete for a cup, but I think they've solidified their chances of making the playoffs yet again this year. I think Patrick Laine coming back healthy in itself. Having Ivan Demidov, like you said, Dave, earlier, is a huge addition. That's going to lead to a lot more goals being scored. You're also not going to have Lane Hudson. How am I getting to the grading of this? Lane Hudson is also not going to be on the second unit of the power play, with Mike Matheson running power play 1 all the way up until November, December. All this to say is the team is already better with the elements that came back either healthy or came in by the end of the year. I think with Dobson, you jumped a few years ahead and probably got something better than whatever Mayu was going to pan out to be. You also brought in, like I said, a potential 25 goal scorer over the entirety of a season in Bolduc, which is a lot of goals. They've solidified players to get into their respective positions, not play out of their comfort zones, which is only going to help identify their clear roles and help them win games at the end of the day. And so if I go back to what I would grade them, what they have done, the most significant part, the biggest weight that should be held is what they brought in for, let's say, free agents, and especially what they did in the trades. I think the trades are the thing that completely not revamped, but really brought additional firepower to the team. Likely going to catch the eyes and the flair within the league to have players saying, I would like to actually go play with Montreal. So if you say today, as stupid as it sounds, with the A-, with the B+, I would give them an A+, because given the parameters that they had to operate in, I would give them an A+. Things have to pan out. Those evaluations could get better. But as of today, given the circumstances, the unpredictability of everything, I still say they advanced this team so significantly in such a short amount of time. We've had GMs who've complained year over year that you can't make this trade, you can't do this. They've been ballsy, they followed through, and I'm really I thought I was excited with Laine coming to the team last summer. I am dying. I'm literally okay, go away, summer. I'm ready for the cold season. Bring on the snow. Let's crack out the shovels. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
A whole other level of excitement.
It's crazy. So that's my super over the top fan pick. I'm giving them an A++. They have done something very special to this team, and you can start to actually see not only the light at the end of the tunnel, it's the glaring light that's reflecting off the Stanley Cup at the end of that tunnel. That's beautiful. That's all. Mic drop.
Wow.
Go, Dave.
I don't know if I can that.
Of course you can.
No, I cannot. No, I cannot. He just broke it down in every which way, from A to Z, all the way, and everything in between. But I will take parts of what he did say, not to copy him. Just don't come at me. But no,
copyright here.
Exactly. But the way I look at it is, if you look at the team starting last October to this October, how did we do in terms of improvements, both in Montreal and Laval? And then you look at the team at the end of the season, both in Montreal and Laval, at the end of last season. Did we get better? Did we get worse? I think we got tenfold better in every which way. The team just they addressed all the little things that they needed to be addressed, and they went out and got it. They said, we need to get something, we need to get a good start, a good starting D, or at least a top 4 pairing defenseman. And not only that, you got an all-star caliber in Noah Dobson, and not a big price in return. And then you needed to address, some players with speed and wings, Bolduc, and then get rid of the big contracts. I'm sad we lost Armia. I'm not sad we lost Dvorak. We got better in every which way, up and down the roster, and like Chris was saying, not just Montreal, in the Laval depth chart too. I can speak English.
You got it.
No, but I mean, even the Laval, the way that they got better, to give us a little bit of a cushion. If something were to happen to one of the roster players in Montreal, we might have 13 forwards and 7 defense. But we also have those players that we can call up to Laval and say, hey, can you come down and play tonight? And they can do it on the drop of a hat. And we have a lot of good players that could come up like that.
Yeah.
So I think the team got a whole lot stronger in the Montreal and Laval. And I'm really excited to see both teams, because I think both teams have have so much possibility of this future team. Like Chris was saying, I said, you were saying, Sammy, with the fact that Line is starting the year healthy, Demidov is playing a full year. You got Dobesh, who is going to be actually fresh, have a bit of games under his belt, so he knows what he's coming into. He's not just a fresh face like deer in headlights, like, oh, yeah, this is what I have to do. A+ as well. Like, I'm really excited for this year. I'm like, it can't come soon enough. Though I can wait for the shoveling.
Can I ask you? There's something that resonates with what you said. This is your idea, and I'm just putting it into question form.
Yeah.
How many times in the past few seasons have we lost one player and feel like the whole season just derails because there's nobody to move around the lineup? I think we talked about Newhook, we talked about Bolduc. I mean, even in a certain sense, I think even Joe Valeno is one of these adaptable guys that can really jump up into different spots, whether it be a winger position or a center position. God help, please, please no, like again, knock on wood, Kirby Doc doesn't get injured. But I just really do think that we're not facing that same problem. We have so much depth. We have we actually have too many players. It's sad because we're at the point of picking who has to sit out more
Yeah.
than who's going to actually fill a spot. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that can make it more exciting, though. That's where we really see who's there to give it their all. So,
yeah, I totally agree. I grade the overall the A-, just simply because they know they addressed that second line center. They tried. However, if maybe they did, we'll never know exactly. I know they tried, but the fact they couldn't get that done, it's okay. They're still ranked high up there because for all the reasons you said. To me, it's I think just bringing in the Dobson and Bolduc in there, you add a little bit more goals than what you did last year. Like last year, the Canadiens had 243 goals, and they barely squeaked in the playoffs. Came down to the last game. You could argue Carolina benched all their best players that game. Doesn't freaking matter. But you're bringing in Demidov. You're hoping Liney's healthy from the start. You're bringing in Bolduc, and you hope he picks up where he left off. You're bringing Noah Dobson in the sense that not only is it, not that he's going to score goals for us, he could probably pop maybe 10 goals minimum on defense, whether it's on the power play or whatever. But he is a defenseman that could score outside of like just Mike Matheson and Lane Hudson, who sets up everybody like in his sleep, right? So to me, if the Canadiens could get above a good 250 goals, if they could get 250, 255 goals plus, they're making the playoffs. And I think by doing that with Bolduc and with Dobson, probably both playing on the power play, you do that. You have Demidov coming in now fresh off. You have and you guys mentioned Laine and even Doc too. A lot of it depends on Doc too being healthy. And it shows so far that he is. He skated a few times in Montreal. I don't know if he's here now, but everything's been addressed right now. There's still so many questions at the end of this upcoming season. Because again, you're gonna see what's gonna happen with Doc, what's gonna happen with Laine, what's gonna happen with Jack-Eye, what's gonna happen with Montembeault too. What's the goalies? They're gonna have to figure out who their main number one goalie is. We all believe it's gonna be Jacob Fowler. That's why they picked him. But at the end of the day, he still has to earn that spot, right? I'm excited, guys. To close this off, I suddenly went back to the documentary, The Rebuild, and I really, really can't wait. I can't wait for this second season of The Rebuild. And I think they announced the date on August 24th. Is it August 24th that it's coming out? It's one of those days, but I can't wait, guys. I really, really, really can't. No, it's exciting. It's exciting. I think this team. I think they're going to finish fourth in their division. I still think you have to find a way to be better than Toronto, Florida, and Tampa Bay, but the Canadiens are right there with them slowly.
Money on the table. Money on the table. The goals that Montreal are going to score, with what you said, Hudson playing let's just chalk it up to no Matheson on power play 1. 2 legitimate power play units. Line A healthy, Demidov full season, and Bolduc coming in. Bolduc and other players playing. Even Doc coming in. Just the goals that are going to come through. I'm telling you, Mitch Marner. Him leaving Toronto, Matthews' goal totals and Nylander goal totals are going to be going down significantly. You start taking maybe an extra 1 to 2 goals out of their game, they don't win as many games.
Yep.
I guarantee you people are still overhyped on Toronto. I know we hate Toronto. I hate Toronto with a passion, but I genuinely think that they are going to take a step back because of just the sheer goals that the sheer number of goals that they are going to miss out on having a play without having a guy like Mitch Marner on their team. It hurts to say that. It actually feels kind of good to say it now that he's gone. But yeah, he was a force to be reckoned with, at least in the regular season, right?
I love it. Dave, anything to say to close this off?
Well, I mean, I'm glad we're not going to face Marner as much. I mean, that's
true.
I mean, he's always been a pest against Montreal, but it's always been the pest of the trio of Nylander, Martin, and Matthews. So I'm okay with that, just being two of them. But no, I mean, super excited for this season to start. Super excited to get the ball rolling, get the puck on the ice. Wearing the jersey more often than for just regular TikTok videos.
So that number is 64 in the back. It's not Reinbacher. Who is it?
It is not Reinbacher. You want to take a guess?
I want to take a guess because the last guy to wear that.
For the life of me.
You know what the last guy to wear that jersey is? Greg Patterin.
No,
you can imagine.
More recent than that.
More recent than that.
It's a game-worn jersey. That's my only game-worn jersey out of all my jerseys. And I picked it because his last name is close to mine.
Chris Weidman. Was it
okay,
Chris? No, he didn't wear.
No.
Landsman.
No, he wore 6.
He wore
no.
Yeah, he did wear. I could think Landsman, Weidman.
I'm so confused.
No, wait a minute. 64. Holy.
Do you want to know a hint?
Yeah, sure. Give us a hint.
Prospect?
It kinda. He played 7 games in the Habs uniform. He's Finnish. What's the slang name for your car? It is your blankmobile.
Oh my god.
You want me to just tell you?
Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, please.
No, we're blanking. I'm blanking here, man.
I'm done.
Otto Leskinen.
Oh my god! I would have never guessed that.
You're welcome. Yes,
I would have never guessed that. Okay, Otto Leskinen. Jeez.
Yeah.
That is a true fan right there.
Went to the what was it, the after season sale at the Bell Center, and they had those Game War jerseys, and I was skimming through them, and there was a bunch of them that I didn't care for. And I saw Leskinen, I was like, oh, you know what? He actually played. He's Finnish. Cool. I like that. Grabbed it. It was like $35.
I never would have guessed it. Awesome.
This is my only game worn.
That's beautiful. It's still.
And
it's
I have
still
75
beautiful.
jerseys. It makes no sense.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to pretend it's Reinbacher's jersey right now, whenever you decide to come back, okay?
Well, I will say one little fun bit.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Back in the day, I was on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw someone selling a Domi jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, shit, okay. And it was $30, and it was right beside my parents' place. I went to picked it up, $30. Brought it home, showed it to my wife, and she's just like, who cares about Domi? He's not going to last in the Habs uniform. I'm like, yeah, he is. 5 days later, he was traded. 5 days.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, oh, well, that sucks. So I kept it in literally hanging up on my rack. And then this past season, they said, if you have a Domi jersey, you can get it exchanged for a Caulfield.
Okay. Hey, you didn't do it?
Pay for the new stitching.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I went, I brought it to the Chicago, $60 later. So I was like, okay, for $90, I got a Caulfield jersey. So
that's so awesome. You beat the system. That's awesome. Awesome. Dave, where can our listeners and followers find you on social media and so forth?
You can find me on X, though I don't use it much. So MTL at the rink.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find me on TikTok at landsman.at.the.rink. I make a lot of hockey content, whether it be my useless knowledge that's all up in here that I don't know why, whether it be talking about the Habs, whether it be talking about hockey numbers or stats, or telling some random story about putting Jamie Benn in handcuffs. Everything is there. Everything is there. So
awesome stuff. Dave, honestly, man, thank you so much for joining us. It's a lot of fun. It's always great to having a special guest, someone who's just as big as a Habs fan as we are. And give David a follow, like he said. Just want to thank all of our listeners for tuning into this episode. Please, once again, click like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, wherever you want to call it. Follow David on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter as well. Episodes available on audio platforms as well, such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate
you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We had a blast. And big thank you to our sponsors, Habs Cave and Mike's Barbecue Rub. Once again, please give them a follow on Instagram. Very easy to find. Go Habs, go, folks! I can't wait. Now that I'm back from vacation, I'm gonna try to wake up a little bit more. And listen, August is around the corner. Next thing you know, it's gonna be October 6th, and we're just getting ready to get this season started. I cannot wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna keep trying to update everybody on things we see on online, whether Twitter and such, practice footage and all that stuff. But can't wait, folks. Chris, thank you so much. Dave, real pleasure, bud. We arranged to get together soon, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
That's fine.
Awesome, guys. Have a good night, everybody. Let's see you next episode. Until then, bye now.
Bye now.
Good night.